Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
My wife's a realtor. You need to go through her.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats, so we got barbecue champion Big Mo Queson to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. Napa know-how.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how. Napa know-how.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Napa know-how.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how. Napa know-how.
Well, the weather outside is frightful, but you're so delightful. Da 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 da. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. And I've been missing you about as much as you've been missing me. I've been taking it easy. I hope everybody else has been having a great holiday, and we're getting back ready to start a new year. And hopefully all of you out there have not already broken your New Year's wishes, and you know, I always do it every year about this time. And boy, I started on my diet. I think I probably lasted an hour, maybe an hour on my diet and got off it real quick, but hopefully I'll get on something. But it is cold outside, 26 degrees as we speak, from our studios right here on South Brundy Street. Of course, temperatures tonight will get down colder than that, somewhere in the 20s, maybe high teens tonight. So the weather outside is frightful, but I promise you, you're so delightful. And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And us folks in the South would say, hey, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. But not up north. Those folks can't stand it. We got a call coming in from, good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Mike Amos calling in from ferocious Birmingham, is that right?
Yeah, it's a little chilly up here, but, I think Troy's 26 degrees, we're 24 degrees. So.
Okay, 20 degrees off, yeah. Was ice everywhere this morning?
Nah, it wasn't too bad. I think the real cold's coming back in tonight. They say it's going to be back in the teens. So.
Well, what you have to be concerned about is the big old hill that you live on. Have you ever thought about just parking your car down the hill and leaving that next morning, or what?
Well, you don't have to deal with ice when it's, you don't have any precipitation. If it's going to be snowing or, freezing rain or something like that, yeah, that's a possibility.
Excuse me. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham.
We had a good amount of amazing games on New Year's Day. Of course, I think the shocker of them all was Central Florida beating Auburn.
But that quarterback, where did that quarterback come from, Mike? His name is Mackenzie Milton. Where did he come from?
I really don't know.
Do your research
about him, but he made some of the most phenomenal passes.
Mike, that guy is a great quarterback, and they said he was the Conference Player of the Year. Never heard of him, Mike. Never heard of him until that the other day against Auburn.
Well, I'd watched Central Florida play several times. They played the American Conference. I saw him play Memphis. I saw him play UCF. The game against UCF was a great game in the 50s, and I really just didn't think there was any chance that offensive line, defensive line could play with Auburn. But they did, and let's just say they should have won by 2 touchdowns easily.
Oh, yeah.
They missed a chip shot field goal. That got blocked, and then they missed another field goal that would have put the game away and basically kept on giving Auburn chances to lose in overtime. And your little favorite wide receiver, Will Herring, almost brought Auburn back. He made 3 straight catches.
I will change my mind about him. He is a pretty good player, isn't he?
And then Stenham throws one of the worst interceptions you'll ever see for UCF to win the game. And, what an amazing job by Scott Frost. If you're a Nebraska fan, you got to be blown away about what he did and hope that he could possibly do going back to his alma mater at Nebraska. I'll tell you who else looked really good as a coach on Monday was Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, he sure did.
Alabama's defense playing lights out against Clemson. A lot of Tennessee fans have got to be excited about that.
Mike, that quarterback didn't even have time to turn around. They ran through that offensive line like it was nothing.
Alabama's defensive line looked like they did against Florida State in that first game. Then
what makes them so good is because they can substitute so much, or what makes them so darn good?
I don't know. I just think that they were just finally healthy. I really think that was the biggest deal.
Yeah.
They finally got all those guys back.
And what I'm saying, they play a bunch of players. They'll play 10, 12 players, won't they?
Yeah, the biggest thing in that game, though, was Kelly Bryant just wasn't ready for a big-time game like that against a physical, aggressive defense.
Exactly. Going to start this rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what's kind of scary in that game is Jalen Hurts really didn't play that great.
No, he didn't.
And Alabama had so many chances to put it away, and then how in the world on that read to start the second half? It's basically a handoff that he pulled back and they fumbled and they get the ball to Clemson at the 20-yard line, and thank goodness the defense for Alabama saved them. But Alabama proved everybody wrong. I know on this show for one of the first time in 3 years I picked Clemson. Jim Jackson picked Clemson. The national media was picking Clemson, but
I picked Alabama though, didn't I, Mike? I think I blew y'all all the way this week.
But it's just one of those type things when it's all said and done that to beat Georgia, they're going to have to be able to score, and Hurts is going to have to play a lot better. And there's receiver's going to have to help him too. You know, he had a couple drops.
Yeah. Well, you know, he also had that pass that he had a guy wide open and then underthrew
Calvin
him.
Ridley on the flea flicker was a
That was an easy touchdown there, and
that
you
was
know,
a walking touchdown.
you know, Mike, I never really worried about that game. After a few minutes, I said they're not going to score. I mean, Clemson could have been out there all day long and not scored. But I think I said something. I thought coming into the game that Clemson was not that good on offense. I didn't think.
Well, they had destroyed the last few opponents that played. They killed South Carolina and they killed Miami. So, I mean, everybody thought they were the best team in the country coming in.
Yeah.
I'll say this, when it's all said and done, though, I mean, it comes down to recruiting and athletes, and Alabama still has the athletes. I mean, they still have guys that, I mean, look like NFL players on defense and offense, and they finally, for once, realized that Damian Harris is their best running back.
Oh, yeah, and they ought to run him a lot more than they do.
Just ran him straight up the gut against that huge, big physical Clemson defensive line, and Alabama just you know, made, you know, 4 yards here, 5 yards there, and then he'd break 10.
They could have stuck with it. I think that's what Saban wanted to do. That's why he got all over his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he chewed out Dayball, the offensive coordinator, because they're trying to just run the clock late in the game. He kept on trying to throw the ball. That was kind of stupid.
Yeah. Boy, he jumped all over him, but then he gave him a pat on the butt on the way out. You reckon he did that so the guy wouldn't whip him when he got to the dressing room?
I don't know, man. Bo Scarborough, though, was really disappointing. I mean, he has no business trying to run it outside. I mean, he's the guy that needs to run inside as well. He don't have that breakaway speed. He hadn't been the same back since breaking his leg against Clemson last year. I mean, he was dominant last year. But he's just, you know, not showing it. And they didn't really play Josh Jacobs, and they didn't play Najee Harris. One time, threw a little screen out to him. He went for about 25, 30 yards.
These guys have got to be a little disappointed because they don't get to see near the
snaps. They don't get to play much at all.
No question. So,
I mean, I'll say that the SEC looked awfully bad earlier in the day. I mean, will Auburn get beat? Then LSU, they're at the 1 inch line, and it's 14-14 with about, I think, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
And they kick the field goal.
Touchdown. But instead, they kick basically an extra point to go up by 3. And dang, Notre Dame just throws it up this guy. He catches it with one hand, knocks down 2 LSU defenders on his way to the end zone. And
probably could have been out there all day long and wouldn't scored with it.
I mean, I just can't believe that they lost. But apparently they're having some issues. Matt Cannon, the offense coordinator, and Orgeron don't get along, and apparently he's going to get fired. Overnight, Rich Rodriguez got fired. So now,
Richie Rodriguez got fired overnight? But you know,
Rich Rodriguez is fired, so now that job's coming open.
Who else got fired?
Rich Rodriguez got fired at Arizona.
Okay. And of course, that surprised
Matt Cannon is the offensive coordinator at LSU. He got fired.
Oh yeah. So.
I mean, Arizona job's a pretty good job. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we got to worry about Neil Brown being in the mix out there, I wouldn't think. But
I don't know. You never can tell.
I'll tell you a guy that might be in the mix that they might be going after is Mike Norvell. Now, Mike Norvell used to be the offensive coordinator at Arizona State.
But he disappointed me. I thought Memphis would win that game, but Iowa State, that guy must be a great coach.
Yeah, you know, they gave him a huge contract extension, too. So he looks like he wants to be there for a while.
Well, the guy at Iowa State, he must like the pheasant hunt, you reckon?
I have no clue.
Mike Amos is on our line this morning.
Kudos to the Sun Belt Conference. Sun Belt Conference finished 4-1 in the bowl season, and the team that I thought was the lock of them all to win, Arkansas State's the only loss.
Yeah, I know.
They easily could have gone 5-0.
Exactly right. Exactly right. No question about it.
They're saying this is going to be the toughest ticket ever for a national championship, where you got Georgia playing in the state of Georgia, you know, and then Alabama just being 3 hours away.
I had a guy on the phone, and hear this. I had a guy on the phone. He's very reputable, and said he will give anybody $1,000 a ticket. He needs 2 tickets to the Alabama-Georgia game, and he'll pay $2,000 for them for the 2 tickets.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people
paying
way
more
than
that's nothing. I know it. I mean, it's amazing what those tickets are going for. What's the regular general admission ticket? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think Tide Pride tickets would be somewhere around probably $200 if you're a Tide Pride member.
Yeah.
For that game. I would think, but I mean, certain top Pride guys, all based on points about how many tickets you can get. So, some guys, the big Tide Pride donors, can get 10, 12 tickets. It just depends. And then, Alabama's only going to get 20,000 tickets.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. Ladies and gentlemen, you just think Alabama and Auburn are rabid. Georgia sent 40,000 people to that game Monday night.
Yeah, to the Rose Bowl.
40,000 Georgia people went to Los Angeles to see that game.
And that's what's great about the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl holds 94,000. So all these other venues, like,
It used to hold 100,000. Doesn't hold 100,000 anymore?
No, you're thinking about the Coliseum in L.A. It holds 100,000. Yeah. But, you got the stadium in Atlanta is beautiful, but it only holds about 75,000.
I know it.
Well, Superdome only holds about 76,000. I mean, I don't know why they don't play these title games in like 100,000 seat stadiums.
Yeah. And if you're going to build these giant stadiums, build them big enough for everybody to go see the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I can't imagine what the tailgating and the pregame is going to be like over there. There's going to be probably 1 million people just going over there just to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be unreal.
Can you imagine how many people are going to be over there just wanting to walk
I've
around?
heard about a party. In fact, I've been given a free admission to a party Friday night that's supposed to have a lot of celebrities, Joe Namath, a bunch of former football celebrities. And I don't know if I'm going to go or not because, being around all those people. God, that's a lot of people.
Well, Friday night you'll be fine. I mean, the game time is when it's going to be crazy. I'd go over there on Friday night. I just want to go over there, come Monday night when it's just going to be crazy.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. And I tell you, I know a lot of...
I'll say this. I mean, if I was Alabama, I would much rather play Georgia than Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too.
Because Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield are scary. I mean, they look like they were going to just blow Georgia out in the first half.
Making it look easy, didn't they?
And then that horrible, I hate a pooch kick, and I hate even worse an onside kick that gets called when you're just trying to run the clock out.
Why did they do that? That was crazy, wasn't it?
At the 45-yard line, and then gets, enough to, try a 55-yard field goal, and the guy makes it.
That guy looked like Ned in the first reader, and his name was Ned.
What are you talking about?
That kid, that field goal kicker, had those crazy glasses on and all that.
Yeah, kind of like the Wild Thing from those movies.
Yeah, now you're right. I bet they're gonna write a story about that guy before it's all over with. Because he's a good, he's a fine kicker evidently, but he is sure a weird looking guy, isn't he?
But Alabama right now in Vegas is a 4.5-point favorite.
So 4.5-point favorite. And going in, and the key is stopping the run. Do you feel like they can stop the run?
Well, it's going to be extremely tough, but I think hopefully Anthony Jennings, he's got a sprained knee. He went down late for Alabama. He'll be back to play, and I think Alabama will be able to stop the run enough to where it's going to come down to Fromm, hitting those really good receivers for Georgia. Of course, freshman quarterback and the biggest thing, Nick Saban against former, colleagues, coaches, that coached under Saban. Kirby Smart, coached under him longer than anybody. Saban's 11-0 against former coaches, assistants.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't believe it's going to be quite as dramatic of a football game as it would have been if it had been Oklahoma, don't you think?
Well, I think naturally everybody hates the fact it's two SEC teams. I think a lot of people are upset about that. But,
yeah.
Number 3 was Georgia, and they won, and number 4 is Alabama, and they won.
They think Ohio State deserved to go in with a 24-7 win over Southern Cal. They were pretty good on defense, didn't you think?
Yeah, but, you just got to go back to the way they lost to Iowa. They lost, 33 points to Iowa.
Yeah.
And then they lost by 15 at home to Oklahoma. Yeah. I definitely think the committee got it right.
Yeah. Of course,
there was some other great games. Mississippi State, great comeback to beat Louisville under an interim coach and a backup quarterback. That was another big win.
That tell you what, they built quite a system there, haven't they?
And then you got Memphis falling to Iowa State 21-20. Penn State held on to beat Washington 35-28. You also had the University of Miami. Mark Richt tried to kill the official.
Why did he do that? What happened there? I didn't know he was that kind of guy. What happened there?
I don't know. I mean, he pretty much just attacked the official. I've never seen Mark Richt get so angry. But Wisconsin in Miami against a team I thought would just run them off the field speed-wise tells you Wisconsin was not bad. Won 34-24.
Yeah.
So
their quarterback is good, Mike. Their quarterback is good, and they got a big defensive front.
And but I mean, Miami should win that game at home against Wisconsin. And then, of course, we mentioned South Carolina. What a great comeback to beat Jim Harbaugh.
Young man from Opelika, Alabama, Mike, threw 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his dad's on the staff in South Carolina. Jake Bentley's dad coaches for Muschamp. And I tell you what, he is a good player. What about South Carolina Will Muschamp? 9-4 this year. He went to a bowl game his first year. So
I know it.
Anybody that thought he was a flop at Florida, he was a pretty good coach. Then, of course, Auburn, really was the shocker of them all. A 10.5-point favorite in Vegas gets beat by 7. Probably should have got beat worse than that.
I didn't know what that line was, but that's way higher than I thought it would have been.
LSU falls to Notre Dame. They were the favorite, 21-17. Georgia was the favorite. They covered 54-48. And then, of course, Alabama was the favorite, and they easily covered 24-6 over Clemson.
Well, I tell you what, it was a lot of good bowl games. I tell you a game that surprised me a little bit was Wake Forest beat Texas A&M 55-52. What? A&M couldn't stop anybody, could they?
Well, A&M's dealing with a situation where don't have a coach, interim coach. Jimbo Fisher's there, but didn't take over until after the game. And then Wake Forest has got a proven coach in Dave Clawson, and that doesn't surprise me that much.
And why does Kentucky want to go for 2 to beat Northwestern? I mean, when you give your team a lot better chance going into to the overtime, don't you think?
Yeah, they said there's a lot of controversy in that game. The star running back got kicked out in the second quarter because the referee was trying to give him a hand up, and somehow he thought the player was grabbing his wrist or something, and gets kicked out of the game.
Was that Northwestern running back?
No, the Kentucky running back, the star player, Kentucky running back who had rushed for 1,500 yards, got kicked out in the second quarter by the officials.
Oh, man.
That really hurt Kentucky bad in that game. He was a great player.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they went for 2, and I guess they didn't feel like they wanted to go to overtime. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Then I watched TCU come back against Stanford, and that was unusual. Stanford got up pretty good in that ball game.
Stanford did not have a good quarterback this year. That Costello is not a very good player.
Yeah. They got a good running back, though, don't they?
Running back in the country, yeah.
But, TCU will get after you. I don't care what anybody said. If you told me what team would really just get at you on kicks, get at you on everything, I would say TCU might be the top team in the country as far as getting at the folks.
Oklahoma beat their brains out, though, in the championship game. I mean, winning close.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, they always have been the tight team, though, that really play good on defense. And Virginia evidently didn't have any idea how to stop the wishbone.
Yeah, that was a shocking score.
Navy killed them 49-7. But that game was played in Annapolis, Mike, in that frigid temperature.
Of course, we got the 1AA championship. You got 2 familiar foes going at it on Saturday night. You got North Dakota State and James Madison.
You mean that game that hasn't been played yet?
No, that game will be played Saturday.
Huh. And North Dakota State is unbelievable, the program they've gotten. And you look at what they've done over the years. Why don't they go Division I, Mike?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just, enjoying winning all these national championships. I talked to a buddy of mine who went to UNA, and he said that UNA, North Alabama, for anybody wondering who UNA is, opens up at North Dakota State, because they'll be 1AA next year. So definitely a situation where I think a lot of UNA fans will probably go up there.
UNA had one of their worst seasons ever, Mike. They had one of their worst seasons ever.
Oh, I know. I mean, they hired a guy that was on the staff for Bobby Wallace, and I don't think that was a very good hire.
Yeah. Well, they like you said, they're going Division I AA, and they'll be like Jacksonville State in that classification. Are they going to be in the Ohio Valley Conference, Mike?
I don't think they're going to be in the Ohio Valley Conference. They're going to be in a conference I've never really heard of. Like, I think even smaller. I mean, there's going to be one AA, but it's not going to be a conference you really know much about.
At one time they were pretty good in everything. So back in those heydays of Troy, North Alabama, and Jacksonville State, all three of them.
Johnny Williams would have known. I mean, Johnny played there and was All-American there.
All three of those teams were good in every sport. Every year. And that was
basketball had some crazy games over the weekends. They got Jarvis Bernardo back. Thank goodness Troy basketball did. Almost found a way to beat Georgia Southern, but Georgia Southern had a guy named Brown that scored 31 points.
He's the guy that shoots all those free throws. Troy recruited him and actually took another guy over him. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's a huge mistake.
And Georgia Southern got him, and that guy's good. He's quite
Brown in person and Bernardo on the same team.
Yeah, I know it.
But Troy then goes out and plays Georgia State, who they always have issues with, but gets down by 19 points, but comes back and wins the game.
How do they do that, Mike? How do they do that?
I think they got a late steal from B.J. Miller.
Well, Miller's quick. He's quick. I know that.
And won the game, but
he took a length of the court or what?
I'll have to read the article again about it, but they came back and won the game, and now they're 1-1 in the conference, and hopefully with Bernardo being back, this Troy team can turn around and get back to, possibly, getting into an NCAA tournament like they did last year. It's all about how you play late.
Oh, yeah. Mike Amos calling us.
Unfortunately, they got to go on the road and play UT Arlington, who's the best team in the league this week.
I was wondering who had the best team in the league. And while we're at it, Mike, let's talk a little bit about pro football. And, and I haven't kept up with it hardly at all. And I look around and Tennessee's playing in the wild card against Kansas City. Atlanta's playing in the wild card against the Rams at I reckon they're playing at Los Angeles now, are they?
Yeah, the Rams, yeah.
How many people can the Rams Stadium hold, Mike?
The Rams playing in the Coliseum.
Oh, are they? Okay, well.
It's the Chargers. Chargers only hold like 30,000.
Oh, the Chargers. Yeah, I was wondering what would happen if that happened. And Buffalo's playing at Jacksonville, and boy, Jacksonville really didn't look good Saturday. I watched some of that game.
The first time Buffalo's been in the playoffs in 20 years.
I know, it's amazing. And Carolina's at New Orleans, and what a game that'll be on Sunday. Those are all wild card games, and of course Philadelphia, New England, Pittsburgh, and Minnesota. Do you know every one of them have 13-3 records? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And but do you even keep up with it anymore? Do you even watch pro football much?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Well, one of the things that they did, and of course they did this quite a long time ago. They took Favre away. He retired. Then they took Manning away. To me, losing those two guys hurt football. To me, I miss watching them play. I don't know, just other than Brady and my guy at Green Bay. Did Green Bay make it, Mike?
No, they didn't make it.
They didn't make it. Well, I hate that. I bet they missed out.
At least 2 or 3 games.
Oh, yeah, that was 7-9. Detroit fired their coach after going 9-7. I thought he did a pretty good job myself. But
they got a lot of talent, though, man. I don't know. I mean, Stafford gets paid all this money. I mean,
and Green Bay.
I don't understand how you got such a huge contract.
And Detroit beat them, 35-11. And the Rams.
The wild card this weekend will be the Titans against the Chiefs. So that'll be Derrick Henry, in the playoffs.
Did you see that long touchdown he ran?
Yeah.
Hey, did he outrun every one of those guys? They said, surely, when he first got it, everybody said, well, they'll get him. Then he just walked away from them.
Then you got the Falcons against the Rams. You got the Bills against the Jaguars. And then you got the Panthers against the Saints. And that should be a great game with Cam Newton and traveling down to play Drew Brees and Mark Ingram. And
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Mark Ingram's having the best year of his career, isn't he?
Yeah. And then the Kamara kid that played at Tennessee is also having a great year for him.
Did Ingram, did he gain 1,000 yards? Or?
Yeah, he did.
And, of course, who's that I hear in the background, Mike?
That's Mary Prater. She got up this morning, and she's trying to get adjusted. She's been a little beach baby for a while.
She's looking out at the frozen tundra. Is that right?
Yeah. She's teething this morning. She's got a few more teeth coming in.
Yeah.
So that's what
Mike.
I'll tell you about when you have little kids, about how brutal it is when teeth start coming in.
Oh, I know.
How miserable they are.
Well, I've been there and done that, but I know it's sort of tough when you got them as young as yours are. You know, I had two at a
I've been to
time.
the beach many times, and I don't think I ever remembered it being this cold for several days down there. I mean,
You know it's supposed to snow down there? It's supposed to snow down there in northwest Florida. It's supposed to
yeah,
snow.
it's supposed to snow like in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I know, but I've heard there will be snowflakes all the way over to the Gulf, you know.
Yeah, I heard there's a front coming through.
I know this is, if you're going to go on a diet, it's the worst place in the world to be with Thomas's Donuts within a rock's throw.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty Seafood, and I mean, all the different places, the Red Bar, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many places.
I introduced Johnny Williams to Dusty's Seafood this weekend.
Yeah, did y'all get the pound of shrimp?
Oh, he loved it. He loved it. And yes, sir, that was really good.
Boy, they probably got about $100,000, $200,000 worth of dollars hanging in that place.
I know it. It's unreal.
There's dollars over dollars.
Once those dollars are written on like that, can you still spend them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been to places, grocery stores over the years, and people hand me back dollar bills that have, something written on them.
Oh, gosh, no question. That means somebody stole it, probably, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, there's kids get a hold of stuff. I mean, you just never know.
Yeah. Of course.
I think this is really horrible, though, the turnaround for this game being on the 8th. I mean, that is a quick turnaround for a championship game. I think they should give them a little bit more time. Steven was really upset about that in the press conference yesterday.
Who was?
They used to have about 10 or 11 days to get ready for the championship game. Now they basically play a week later.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a great game as far as if you're Georgia and Florida game. I think it's going to lose a lot of its national interest. I really do.
I don't know. I think people are out of their minds if they don't want to watch.
Well, I'm not saying they won't watch it, but I don't know if it'll have near the exposure that they thought it would.
People will watch it just because they hate Saban so much. They don't want everybody in the nation will be pulling.
Boy, I heard some Saban stories lately. People just don't know. This guy's ruthless, man. He's something.
I tell you what, man. He can be anything he wants to be, but I'm sure I'm glad he's our coach.
I know it.
Anybody wants to reflect on the Sheila days, the DeBose days, and Alabama.
Yeah.
This guy came in and.
This guy is the Godfather. Hey, I went down there. Why don't they get him a ring big enough that they can kiss his ring?
I told my wife yesterday. I said, with these kids, it's hard to go to games, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to go to as many as I used to in the next few years. But to have season tickets during the Saban time in Alabama has been worth every single dime paid.
Yeah.
I mean, to see this great of football program, I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah. No question about it. They are.
This championship, though, if they win it, will be the surprise of them all. I mean, after what happened against Auburn, I still can't believe how bad they played against Auburn, and now they come out and just destroy Clemson, and now if they beat Georgia, they win another national championship. It will be incredible.
Yeah, no question. Let me just say this, though.
I will say that the biggest thing on the game the other night is they finally shut down the little Renfro, number 13 receiver.
They sure did. They sure did.
Finally didn't do anything.
You know what I'm thinking. Fitzpatrick must have took him on one-on-one. What do you think?
Now they had Tony Brown on him most of the game.
Did he?
Yeah, he's a track star, but he's the one that gave up the touchdown against him last year. So I guess he was real motivated.
Yeah. Well, that one last year, anybody, since that play last year, you don't get away with that pass anymore.
Well, the announcer Blackledge was real critical of Alabama getting away with that touchdown.
Oh, now
Payne.
Oh yeah.
The defensive tackle came out and knocked two guys back.
I saw him do that. I noticed Johnny Williams and I were watching together, and I told Johnny, I said, that's a penalty there,
Yeah, but thank goodness they didn't call it.
You're right. That would have hurt him.
Then you had Ron Payne from Shays Valley Hospital, about 3.5, 4 miles down the road from here, and I talked to some coaches about him, and they said that he was just a freakish athlete. I don't know if you saw him on the podium at the end of the game. The guy's got legs like tree trunks and arms like tree trunks. I mean, the dude is just huge.
Yeah. Well, and then he outruns everybody, gets the football, and he almost ran it for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a horrible horse collar. He could have got injured on that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they called that.
Yeah, you're right. I was wondering where that was coming from.
That was definitely the play of the game because, Clemson had the momentum. They were driving.
Yeah. Well, you can name these guys by heart, can't you? You start with Payne. Name me as many defensive linemen that, and ladies and gentlemen, you won't ever find this in any other college program anywhere where there's so many active guys up front. Name some, Mike.
Well, Rakeem Davis is 99. He's the one that's so dominant. He's a guy that's like 6'7", like 315 pounds.
Yeah.
He played a great game, and then Terrell Lewis is back. He played a great game.
Payne weighs 310.
He's number 24, and then the Bugs play really good. The junior college guy, number 49.
Yeah.
Deshaun Hand's number 9. Payne's 94.
See, and Hand, now as good as Hand is, you didn't have anybody say anything about Hand much.
He had a big sack that cost him 15 yards. You got Christian Miller, number 47. You got the kid out of Auburn that's phenomenal, number 32, Rashad Evans, so fast.
Evans made 12 tackles.
And then you had Mac Wilson, number 30, who had the interception for a touchdown. You got Mika Fitzpatrick, 29, Avery Abert, 28 at corner, Tony Brown, number 2, and then you got.
And you're not reading anything, are you?
No, Thompson played great for Hootie Jones.
But now, out of all those players, who in the heck was 33? He was all over the place.
Yeah, Anthony Jennings.
See, out of all those guys you mentioned Jennings, and I bet he made 10 tackles.
He got hurt. Hopefully he's going to be able to play. He's the one that possibly had an ACL, but they say it's just a sprain.
Well, I know they want him back, but what we're saying is, how many defensive fronts are almost like household names in college football? You hear about them a lot more in the pros.
Auburn had a bunch of household names too.
Yeah.
They had a really good defensive front.
Tell me what's going to happen to him.
Until they played Central Florida.
Bless his heart, they love him so much they give him a $49 million salary.
I know. Now he's lost 2 in a
And
row.
now everybody wanted to know what they're going to do with him. This guy is the most hard luck guy I've ever seen.
And now his best player went to the NFL draft.
And now his go-to guy, his franchise player.
Kerryon Johnson went pro yesterday.
Mike, I think he might change his mind. Somebody's going to stick something in his face and change his mind, don't you think?
He's already announced that he's not going to change his mind.
You mean you can't get out of it?
Well, he can get out of it, but I'm sure he's already got an agent, and he's supposed to be a first to second round. He won't be a first. I think it'd be late second round probably.
You don't think he's that good? You don't think he's a first round guy?
I think actually against Central Florida, he proved he wasn't a first round guy. He got stuffed in that game.
Well, they did. What I couldn't understand, and the guy, I tell you, you read this stuff about these Auburn fans, or read this information Auburn fans put out, and it makes so much sense. They said that Auburn ran the ball straight at that bunch 23 times. They ran straight dive plays 23 times.
Well, Stenham played a really bad game for Auburn. He had
the
two
key is
horrible interceptions.
the key, like what the guy said on Facebook.
Now Stenham's talking about going pro too. So
Is he really?
Make a decision in the next 3 days.
I don't think he's a pro player.
I think he's a pro player. I just think he might be too young. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he could go. He's eligible to go to the draft.
I don't think he will, though. I think he'll be back. But back to Auburn, they said why run the option when you don't have a quarterback that can run it? You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, it's just like a regular dive play if the quarterback's not going to run it. You know what I mean? Not going to run the option.
Well, I think Auburn's biggest problem is they had a really good slot receiver, that Davis kid, number 23.
Yeah.
But they really didn't have their deep threat. That Slayton guy didn't really make any big plays. And Central Florida, really, just whipped Auburn's offensive line. I couldn't believe.
And Central Florida had given up just tons and tons of yardage the last time.
It's amazing that linebacker. I wish I could remember his name. He's the kid that only has one hand.
Oh, he is unreal.
He is unbelievable.
I bet he made 15 tackles.
He can fly.
And he's from where is he? He's got a twin brother, and he's really, really quite a player. But
somewhere down in Florida. I wish I could remember his name right now.
Yeah. But now let me tell you, who did this quarterback remind you of? Out of all the players that you can think of, who did this guy, Mackenzie Milton, remind you of?
Kind of reminded me of Baker Mayfield a little bit.
Well, it reminded me of Brett Favre. This kid is tough.
He was a lot better runner than Favre was.
Favre was a pretty good runner, Mike, especially in college.
He wasn't near the athlete this guy was.
Well, as far as college,
he's more of an Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Aaron Rodgers can run.
Well, you didn't think you must not have watched Favre play. Favre could run.
Maybe when he was young, but he didn't run much in the pros.
Well, I don't know. He did.
Favre was a thrower.
Yeah, but he ran the ball some too.
He threw on the run a lot.
Yeah. Well, most all of the good ones can run a little bit.
The guy made throws, though. That was in between, two defenders and perfect coverage. Malzahn was on the sideline laughing. He couldn't believe what was going on. I don't think.
Who was?
Malzahn was just laughing. He couldn't believe that. The guy was making those kind of throws.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, he was a great player.
4 games, so now Auburn, 3 years in a row, they lost 5 games, and now they lose 4 games this year. They destroyed Georgia and they destroyed Alabama. So I guess that's enough to raise for $7 million. 7 years for $49 million, $7 million a year.
And they are a team that beat the 2 top teams in the country. They both beat them.
But then Georgia came back and destroyed them. So
yeah, I know it.
I don't know, how do you look at you? At the season, as an Auburn fan, I think all they care about is Alabama. So I guess it's a winning. A season they're happy with. So I don't know.
Well, Smart should know a lot about Alabama, don't you think? He'll probably. What do you think he'll do? Offensively, he won't have to do a whole lot. What do you think?
I think they'll just basically make Jalen Hurts beat them through the air, and everybody told me that Tua was supposed to play.
And I thought he would have played too.
Defensively, just started dominating. I guess Saban and Daboll just decided to leave Hurts in there and didn't want to risk anything.
For this guy, Daboll, to be the former New England Patriots offensive coordinator.
No, he wasn't offensive coordinator. Everybody has that wrong. He was offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns and some other teams. He was only a tight end coach for the Patriots.
All right, well, the great tight end coach.
He coached Gronk.
Coached the greatest tight end that probably may have ever lived.
Yeah,
and they don't even throw the tight end half the time.
Oh, they threw it to him one time.
Yeah, one time. But why don't?
And also, the unique thing about Daboll, you don't ever hear this. He's Canadian. He was born in Canada. Played football in Canada.
I was wondering about him, but I got tickled with Saban though. He tried to pat the guy on the butt, but he missed him on the way out after the game.
What about when Jalen Hurts came on the sideline and knocked Saban over?
Yeah, how did that happen?
He was running out running to the sideline trying to get rid of the ball.
Let me tell you something that you'll never.
I called in yesterday and made the best comment ever. He said Jalen Hurts leads the country in throwing the ball out of bounds, which is true.
What is that? What the coach said?
I've never seen a guy having to roll out so many times and throw it away.
Is that what he said yesterday?
Oh no, just somebody calling into a radio show for that. But sometimes, Hurts is so bad. Sometimes he doesn't throw it out of bounds. He'll take about a 10-yard loss. And
something else about him that people don't realize is, once you get to him, you got to knock him down. He weighs 220 pounds. The guy is strong as an ox and is a load to bring down.
But it just comes down to it, though. There's so many open receivers. It's just really frustrating sometimes that he just doesn't get the ball to people.
Yeah, no question about it. But you're right, Mike.
The guy's 26-2 as a starter.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to turn around. His offensive line is not very good, Mike. Wouldn't you say that?
I tell you what, man, they knocked the mess out of Clemson
Well, not much. Hey, Mike, they didn't knock it much. You know.
Hey, if you could run the ball like they did, I'm not talking about outside the tackles. I'm talking about between the tackles. That was very impressive against that defensive line.
Yeah, no question about it.
They got the best defensive line in the country.
Yeah, no, well.
Georgia won't have near the defensive line that Clemson has.
Yeah, all right. It'll be a lot smaller, won't it?
Well, I mean, they got great linebackers, but I mean, Alabama definitely will be able to run the ball better against Georgia.
Who is Georgia's defensive coordinator?
Mel Tucker, that was at Alabama.
Yeah, Tucker, that was at Alabama. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're gonna make him.
These staffs all know each other. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt was defense coordinator at Georgia. I mean, he knows all the players on Georgia's team. I mean, it's an extremely weird situation. All this is.
Call in 670-0052 on our show this morning. We'd love to hear from you.
I'll call you back here in a second.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling. We'll be right back with more of Today in LA.
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Come into Roadmart locations near you for the Firestone Summer Sale, like this Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 Series. Impressive handling in wet and dry conditions are the Destination LE2 Series. Gives your truck or SUV command of the road with comfort. And the Firestone Champion with Fuel Fighter technology. Purchase 4 eligible tires and receive a $60 prepaid Visa card. It gets better. If you pay with a new or existing CFNA credit card, get an additional $30 rebate. Now at Roadmart locations near you.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, with locations on North 3 Ninth Street in Troy and also in the Marketplace Shopping Center. And right now, boy, they've got some great deals going on with the sirloin tip roast, just $2.69 a pound. Sirloin pork chops, just 87 cents a pound. Fried drumettes, $2.37 a pound. And the sales go on and on at Piggly Wiggly's. Remember, cost plus 10% at Piggly Wiggly right here in Troy. You on Today in LA? How you doing?
Mike Amos, Bud Luverne.
Bud, man, I missed you, man. I woke up every morning and said, where's Bud? Where's Bud?
Well, you know, I did the same thing on this end since y'all took about a 2-month vacation.
Well, we had an opportunity. We had some, opportunity here. They wanted to sort of shut down some too while we were off. So I said, hey, why not take advantage of it? And of course, our reruns just as good as our regular ones, aren't they?
Yeah, except I just can't call in.
Oh no, yeah, I know it. Bud's calling in from downtown Luverne this morning, or where?
Yes, sir, Luverne.
Well, tell us what's going on, brother.
I'm like you and Mike. It's ironic that Auburn beats Georgia and Alabama when they both ranked number 1. They looked like they were in line for a playoff spot, and now you got Georgia and Alabama playing for the national championship. It's just ironic how that is a twist of events there. And like I told all my Auburn buddies since Monday, if Auburn could play all 11 games or 12 games at Jordan Hare, they'd be national champs, no doubt.
You know, a guy told me I was buying a lottery ticket on the way home yesterday, and he said if they could play with that loud audience every game, he said they'd go undefeated. That's like he said.
Oh, they just feed off the crowd, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
probably of all the stadiums in NCAA football, they're probably the team gets the most feed off of their enthusiasm and their spirit than probably any stadium in the country.
But I know this, you know, you think you say to yourself, how loyal are these kids? Well, Johnson had a great year, gained over 1,300 yards and had a great year, but now he's leaving them to go to the pros.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, to me, that's awfully tough to swallow.
That's tough to swallow because, you know, like most schools, they only gave him 85% of the carries during the year, and you got to come back next year and establish someone. How was Stidham a junior? Has he got one more year left at Auburn?
Yeah, he's got I want to say he was a red shirt. Was this year his first year?
Yeah.
I wanted to say he was a red shirt sophomore. I was thinking he had 2 more years, but I might be wrong.
I think he's got one more because, you know, he had a couple years out at Baylor.
Yeah, but see, I didn't know he'd ever actually played that much at Baylor.
I think he played more than we realized, yes, sir. I think so. But it's just ironic how things have turned about here, and everybody, everybody except the Southeastern Conference is against this. It's against this championship game again because it's 2 from the same conference.
Yeah.
You got Danny Cannell and that bunch on Fox Sports talking about what a travesty and all this, but you know it just shows how everybody was talking about how down the conference was, and we were at a point. But then again, you got 2 of the top teams in the conference playing for the national championship, and I think that's the way it should be.
You know, you and I mentioned this before, and I will tell you something else too. I was looking at all kinds of good photos in the in the newspaper, especially yesterday. And everybody sees where these kids don't wear knee pads. They're gonna make them wear them, though. Did you read that?
I did not know that. No.
They are going to finally make them come back and wear knee pads. I thought it was the craziest thing in the world to not have knee pads. Any solid lick on a knee with a helmet or steel face mask gonna tear you up, isn't it?
A lot of your wide receivers and punters and
yeah, that's right. It looks like they're wearing shorts out there, doesn't it?
And I'm gonna throw out a name in the past, and he hardly ever wore shoulder pads, and that was Fred Biletnikoff.
That's right.
He never wore pads when he played.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. But now, what else was he famous for?
Oh, Stickum. He would
had Stickum all over his leg. I mean, that gooey stuff. I know people hated to tackle him because they get that gooey stuff all over them. You
exactly, and that's why the NFL outlowed Stickum was because of Fred Biletnikoff.
That's right. You look at one of his socks, it'd have that gook all over him, you know.
All over you.
And
where did he play his college ball?
Florida State.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And he played with Reed. No, hang on there, man. I'm enjoying it.
Well, Bama got a big win in basketball last Saturday, beating 5th ranked, and there again, talking about teams feeding off the home crowd. Bama does when they play at Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah.
They beat 5th ranked Texas A&M last Saturday, and then go up to Vandy last night and lose a heartbreaker 76-65.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were looking good. But I'm going to tell you now, the conference in basketball is a lot stronger this year than they have been in the last 4 or 5. We got some teams right now that's going to make some noise.
Auburn is one of them. You know, you go on the road. If you go on the road and win an SEC, you've done something.
And you know, they beat Tennessee last night.
Yeah.
And you would figure, I think Coach Pearl and that group has used this investigation with Chuck Person and a couple, the Wiley kid and all. I think he's used that as a rallying point, kind of like us against the world type deal. And he's always been a great motivator, great basketball coach. And you're right, they're playing lights out right now.
Bud, look, give me a second here. Let me put you on hold a minute. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Mike, it's Will Matthews.
Hey, Will. How you doing, Will? I've got Bud on the other line. Let me come right back to you. I'll be right back on you.
All right.
We got Will Matthews on the phone. All right, Will, are you on?
I'm here.
And I thought I'd put Bud on hold. Let's see if I did or not. Bud, this is Bud from Luverne. Hold on a minute. Well, Bud, I lost you. I'm sorry. I hope you'll call back. Of course, we always enjoy his conversation. Will Matthews calling from calling from Ozark, and I know you were there and you was and enjoying the game, weren't you?
Oh yeah, saw it in a private box. First time, that was phenomenal.
Will, how much money you having to pay for all this, man?
Nothing.
Nothing.
When you got a friend that's the head of the Sugar Bowl committee, you can do things.
Oh, how did he's a golfer. He's not a football guy.
No, this guy's a lawyer in New Orleans, and he's from Union Springs. Stanley Kahn.
Are you serious? From Union Springs, Alabama, and he's on the committee?
Absolutely. He is the head of the committee.
Stanley Kahn from Union Springs, Alabama. Somebody call in and tell me if you know Stanley Kahn.
There's a lot of people know him. He's a good guy, too. Really.
Now, I thought those Kahns, they all came from Macon County.
No, he's from Union Springs.
From downtown Union Springs?
Yep.
I bet he'd never been to a dog trial in his life.
He went to Tulane Law School, never left when he got down there.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy, and my children went. I took all my kids and their wives and husbands.
Oh boy, you spent some money, didn't you?
Well,
you must want a big suit. Have you won a big suit or what?
No, I tell you what, I did not have any money to speak of. But going to Atlanta is going to be expensive if I.
Well, I'm wondering. Let me tell you, I hear prices. I had a guy yesterday from Andalusia, a good friend of mine, and he's got the money. I mean, he wasn't, just talking. He said he'll give somebody $2,000 for 2 tickets. Just tell him to call him, and they've got to call me, and I'll give you his phone number. But he's willing to give $2,000 for those 2.
Is he really? Hey, Mike, is he really?
I mean, that's cheap, isn't it?
The cheapest price I've seen for a ticket is $3,400.
I knew it was high.
One ticket. He can't get within 10 miles of the Georgia Dome with $2,000.
But but like Tide Pride, you can buy them a lot cheaper, can't you?
Those people get their tickets and they turn around and sell them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine sold his to the Sugar Bowl, and I think he's got some. It's going to be a real racket, man, to get a hold of those things.
Oh, and I'm not paying that kind of money. Last year I had 8 tickets to Tampa for a regular price, but the regular price was $650.
Did y'all have a lot of fun? Where did y'all stay?
Let me think. What's the town next to Tampa?
Not Tampa, but you're talking about New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans.
Slidell. Y'all stay in Slidell or Biloxi?
We stayed in Gulfport, where my daughter lives.
Oh, I got you. Well, look, Will, I mean, that had to be a lot of fun. And y'all celebrate the New Year's?
Mike, I went to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, people got to know that you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't swear, you don't gamble, you don't do any of those things. How can you have fun?
Now, I do gamble.
I would wait for that comment.
I call it calculated risk taking.
How can you have any fun, man?
I have a good time.
Yeah, I know it. A trip like that, your folks will never forget it.
And watching our defense put the clamps on Kent Clemson was worth the watch.
I was looking in the paper today, and we were talking about these kids don't wear knee pads anymore. But I've heard that there's a rule now that they're going to make them start back using knee pads.
It slows them down considerably, and that's why they don't wear them.
Yeah. Well, of course, the Georgia game probably doesn't have near the excitement to it as maybe Alabama and Oklahoma. What do you think?
I think it's going.
You know, I had Bud. Will, are you on? We lost Will somehow, and let's see. Will from Ozark called, and we lost him over the line. He accidentally hung up or whatever. But I want to mention, of course, going into the game, the Auburn game. Back to you on today in L.A. Good morning.
I lost you, Mike.
Will, I was talking about Kerryon Johnson, who has decided he's going to go into the draft, and of course I know that breaks a lot of hearts. But I'm going to ask you this: if what was the big fullback's name? Pennywell. What's his last name? The great fullback at Auburn that got hurt.
Oh, Purefoy or something.
Well, let me just say this. He seemed like he would have gotten well by the end of this season, and he never got well. But what if they'd had both those guys? Wouldn't that have been something?
You know, I think they would have had a better chance against Georgia in the SEC championship.
But what I'm also saying is, do you think he's decided he'll come back, and that gave Johnson more of a better feeling about going into the draft, don't you think?
Mike, what they do, they've got some kind of rating service that comes out, and they tell you where you're going to be in the draft. They know pretty close where you're going to be, and if you're not in the top 2 rounds, you need to stay back. And evidently, Kerryon Johnson's going to be in the first round, somewhere around the 25th to 30th pick. And when you're there, you're going to get to go to a great team. He's going to get to go to a great team. He's not going to be stuck in Cleveland or one of these sorry teams.
Well, and people, I know we're sort of selfish for thinking this way. You hate to see these guys leave, but, they get hurt unless they've got some kind of real good insurance policy. And, those guys got chances to lose their whole career, or their whole ability to go for a high price. They tear the knee up. Don't you agree?
You're exactly right.
I mean, they might have a knee injury and get well, but they'll never be the same. Would you hire? Hey, it's like buying a car that's been wrecked. I hate to say that. It's the truth, isn't it?
And it's a business, Mike.
If you had a kid that decided, like Johnson, let's say, he decided to come back and play his senior year and he tears his knee up, even if they have surgery and get him back in there, it's still like a brand new car that's been wrecked.
That's a good analogy. I think you're right, and especially a running back.
Yeah, no question. And their longevity is not but about 5 or 6 years at the most, isn't it?
Running backs, I think Wilbur played 8 years.
Yeah, now Wilbur was an exception, though. Now he was an exception.
He was an exception. Most of them, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I tell you, one that lasted longer than anybody is the guy from Daleville. The big, he lasted 13 or 14 years. Played at Auburn.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's some that have long careers.
Yeah.
Linemen have long careers, generally.
Yeah. Well, I didn't keep up with the betting lines much on these football games, but they were pretty easy. It was a bad year for the bookie, wasn't it? A lot of these games were cut and dried, wasn't they?
Well, I don't know. Alabama was favored when they kicked off. Was favored by 3.5 points.
Yeah.
And all the experts said Clemson was going to win the game.
Yeah.
And then Georgia was favored by 3 points, and all the experts said.
You mean they were 3-point favorite over Oklahoma?
Yeah. And
Georgia was the favorite?
Really, yes. And really, Oklahoma should have won the game.
Sure, they should have. I would have thought they would have been the favorite. Alabama's a 4.5 point favorite over Georgia
Monday night, and the over/under is 45. So they're expecting a low-scoring game.
What was the over/under on the Georgia Oklahoma game?
61.
60. Golly. Boy, that wasn't even close, was it?
and it went way over that.
What was Alabama over under?
Alabama was 46 or 47. I can't remember which, but it,
Yeah, but
way under.
But it was sort of a favorites. Now, I mean, I didn't even keep up with it, but it looked like most of the time the favorites won the football game. Not necessarily in the Oklahoma game, but most of the other ones.
I think somebody had a stat said the underdogs had won 56% of the bowl games in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but this year I wonder how they do. They just didn't seem like.
This year I think the favorites won more.
I think so too, and that was what I was getting at. And of course,
look at New Year's Day. Now look at New Year's Day. You had Auburn get beat. You had Michigan get beat. That was two underdogs.
That's right.
One there. You had Notre Dame win. That's an underdog. That's three underdogs.
Yeah.
What were the other games? I think.
Auburn was they were a 10.5 point favorite. Did you take? Wouldn't you think that was a little bit high, 10.5 for Auburn? Or how'd you look at that?
I thought Auburn was going to beat them, but Auburn didn't show up the first half, and you let a team like that stay in the game. It's just like when Troy played LSU. That first half, they let Troy stayed in the game, got the lead, and they got just far enough ahead where they couldn't lose it in the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Nobody would think LSU would lose to Troy 1 out of 10 times, but that was the one time.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. After watching the two play, I would probably took Troy at the end too. Troy really had a good team at the end, as far as scoring. LSU had the problem of not being able to score. They get down that 1 inch line and they kick a field goal. Boy, something's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they fired the offensive coordinator. So they're looking for they might Neil Brown about $2 million to go down there.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, let me say this. Of course, you went to the game and you didn't see it, but Saban jumped all over his offensive coordinator during the game. And then as the game was over, he reached out and tried to pat the guy on the butt and missed him. But he knew he had teed. I'm not going to use the regular language that he would use, but he would have really knew that guy sort of was upset with him because he sort of embarrassed him during the game.
Oh, yeah, but, that's Saban.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. We were talking about Saban this weekend, and I was talking to some people that been around him a lot. You ever noticed that nobody ever douses Saban with water? Have you ever noticed that? Hey. I know. Hey, in a lot of things people don't do to Saban that they do to other coaches.
Now, they have done it before, though.
Yeah, maybe so, but not many.
I think he's got a rule that if they win the national championship, he'll let them do it. And they've done it before.
Yeah.
Because I was in Arizona, they dumped him, and I was in California, they dumped him.
Well, let me tell you this. If there's a godfather of all the football coaches, it's got to be Saban, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and he's earned it. I mean,
if you're going to kiss anybody's ring, it would be Saban's, wouldn't it?
and Mike, if he wins Monday night, he will tie Bear Bryant for 6 national championships.
Yeah, that would be really unreal. And, he's quite a character. I reckon if you wrote a book and you didn't hold anything back, it'd be quite a book to read, wouldn't you think?
Yep.
Boy, Saban is getting ready for this one, going up against his defensive coordinator for, gosh, how long was Smart his defensive coordinator?
He was with him at LSU. He was with him at Miami, and he's with him at Alabama the whole time. So he's been with Saban the whole time.
No question about it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats, so we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
They've never been there, so they're getting,
Yeah.
They get used to it. Alabama folks are used to it, see. So they're selling their tickets and they're getting rich off of it.
Yeah. No question about it.
They're making enough money. They're making enough money to pay for their season tickets and put money in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Just off one ticket.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Hooks Barbecue. Some of the finest barbecue you'll find anywhere is at Hooks. I ate at Dusty's. I was at the beach for the last week or so, Will, and ate a lot at Dusty's. And, man, I tell you, those crab claws and those onion rings and those shrimp are awfully good.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Will Matthews, I rode by the Yellow House a couple of times, Will. Yeah, have you noticed all those big houses going up down to the beach? These guys, these big corporations are building them. These hedge funds. Have you ever noticed that?
I don't know what they're doing, but Sunnyside, they've got a rule 3 stories as high as it goes.
Well, yeah, but still, for an individual house, that's what mine is. And that's plenty. That's plenty high. But you better have an elevator, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Will Matthews is our guest, and Will, going back over some of these games, if you looked at it, I didn't think Clemson going into the game had the offense to really give Alabama a hard time. That's just the way I felt. I felt like defensively Alabama would hold them up. I'm still not sold on Alabama offensively. Are you?
Yeah, but if you can hold the other team to 150 yards offense the whole game, you're going to win.
Yeah, that's right. But what I'm saying, if somebody does play well and put a lot of points on the board, Alabama's going to have a hard time outscoring folks, don't you think?
Well, how are they going to score on them? That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Georgia's fixing to find out. They've got 2 great running backs. But if they get hit before they even reach the line of scrimmage, they're not going to do that great.
That's true.
You got to get them some space. If you don't get them any space, they're not going anywhere.
Mike Jr. Was telling us just a while ago before he went off the air that Georgia doesn't have near the defensive front that Clemson had.
But we just lost a linebacker, though. That guy's not going to play much.
Oh, I hate that. You mean his name is Jennings, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Jennings, number 33. Number 33.
He's out for the game.
Well, I hate it. We were naming over all of these defensive front people. How many people on any college team in the country could start running off names of front defensive linemen? It's because they play 8 or 10 defensive linemen or 12 defensive linemen at sometimes, and you hear the names so much that you get where you know them better. You know the people in the secondary.
But Clemson's got 3 that are going to go in the first round in the NFL. 2 this year and 1 next year.
Yeah.
So they had a real good, they had a real good defensive line.
Well, let me tell you this: the quarterback they had wasn't near as good as the quarterback they had last 2 years.
No, that guy's the best. I told somebody last year I thought he was the best college player since Cam Newton.
He was really good. He had that kind of flair about him, no question.
And they finally let him start in the pros, and he went crazy, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Looking at, of course, LSU, as we mentioned, went for kicked the field goal when they had a 1 inch to go, but they couldn't stop Notre Dame. They threw that big tight end, and he just threw guys off of him and went for a touchdown. Did you see that?
That's terrible. If you can't make a foot, you don't deserve to win a game. That's what they got to go for.
Yeah, no question. And then, of course, Malzahn, they pay Malzahn all this big money, and he lost the last 2 games because of it. I don't know if it's because of it, but now he loses Johnson, who is his top player and one of the top running backs in the country. He's gone, so now he's got to rebuild his running back. Evidently, the big fullback's not coming back either.
I can't believe they're paying him that kind of money.
Yeah, but
I really can't.
Well, and it's amazing what they're paying these guys now. But of course,
I gotta go to work. I'm over here at the courthouse in Dothan, and I'm fixing to go in and try a case. But
all right, brother. Well, good luck to you, and we appreciate you calling.
All right, Mike.
Okay, Will Matthews calling in from Ozark this morning, or actually from Dothan. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Napa Know-How. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how. Napa Know-How.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone, so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Back to our show, and I was taking a look at some of these bowl games this week, and how the Big Ten seemed to do, I reckon they call them the Big 12 now, but they won quite a few games this week. In fact, looking at the Big 12, you had, well, gosh, to start off with, the Michigan lost, that's 1. But Wisconsin won, that's 2. Penn State won, that's 3. Iowa State wins, that's 4. Let's see, Ohio State wins, that's 5. Boy, they won a bunch. Then they 5. And let's see, Michigan State won, that's 6. Oklahoma State, well, that's not the Big 12, the Oklahoma State, but Purdue won, and so there's quite a few games won by the then the Big 12, of course, had some big wins too in the bowl games. As we mentioned, this year it looks like the favorite in the bowl games went more to the favorite than it did in the past. Of course, a lot of times you see upsets in the bowl games because a lot of teams are not as fired up about them as other teams. But of course, Florida State beat Southern Miss, which was a good win for the Atlantic Coast. And of course, looking at the ACC was so-so. They're not real. Didn't play real well in the pros. Wake Forest surprised a lot of people, beating Texas A&M 55-52. North Carolina State won their bowl game. And people are still talking about Kentucky going for 2 against Northwestern and losing that ball game. New Mexico State out of the Sun Belt ends up winning that Arizona Bowl, which is in Tucson. That's a bowl that Troy would be qualified to go to every year. And congratulations to New Mexico State beating Utah State in overtime. And that meant 5-1. I think they won 5 out of 6 games, talking about the Sun Belt Conference. So not bad year for them. And I know a lot of people were pleased to see the Sun Belt do so well. Of course, the big game coming up is on Monday week. Well, actually Monday, and that's not like they said, it's not a lot of time to prepare. Of course, the game is going to be played on the 8th, and how does that work? Today is the 3rd, is that right? Or the 2nd? 3rd. If today is the 3rd, it'd be the 8th, which is less than a week, actually, to get ready. If you counted yesterday's practice, about a week before the championship game, which pits the Crimson Tide of Alabama against the Georgia Bulldogs, and it should be quite a game, especially for fans of the SEC. And of course, should be quite a rivalry between the head football coach Nick Saban and his longtime assistant coach Kirby Smart. And of course, Kirby Smart grew up, went to Georgia, played in the secondary at Georgia, and then started coaching and was with Saban as far back as as LSU, and then of course he went on to Alabama and coached with Saban, and that's where he got all of his so far so-called defensive reputation. But of course Auburn loses their game and loses their top player for next year, as their outstanding running back will be heading on to the pros. And again, we were talking about that earlier. How can you blame a guy that's going to become a millionaire? He's already done a lot for Auburn's program. Now it's time for him to do something for himself. And without these players being paid, they can't do anything for themselves. Of course, they can get education, that's one thing, but the other thing is, though, to put a financial future in his lap. It's hard to say no to the pros when they say, yes, you will go in the first or the second round, and you will get very big money to sign a contract. I want to apologize a little bit again. This time of year, you better bundle up. It's going to be even colder tonight and even colder on Thursday night. So go ahead and wrap up and stay out of all this bad weather. Of course, the pros are starting their playoffs, and we'll be talking more about that as the week goes on. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Queson to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Back to our show. Arizona has fired Rich Rodriguez, hostile workplace claimed for his demise. Says here, Arizona head football coach Rich Rodriguez, who you remember turned down the Alabama job several years ago before Saban got here, but it says he was, after a notice of claim was filed with the state attorney general's office, alleging he ran a hostile workplace. That doesn't surprise me. The Tucson Daily Star revealed the notice of claim on Tuesday after making a public records request. The paper said the claim was filed last Thursday by a former employee. A notice of claim is a legal document that signals a lawsuit will be filed. The Daily Star reported that the notice was filed after the university's Office of Institutional Equity to investigate allegations of sex harassment from a former employee. The investigation, which concluded last week, did not find enough to fire Rodriguez, but the university became concerned with the climate and direction of the program. So he didn't get he did not get fired for that one reason, but I'm sure a lot of other things. Rodriguez arrived in Tucson after an ugly split with Michigan, where he coached for 3 years, and so a 3-9 finish will get you fired every day. So that's what happened. Georgiana and Andalusia. Georgiana beat Brantley in girls basketball 47-46 in quite a game recently, and then Georgiana's boys beat Brantley 67-44. So Georgiana got another great team, not only in basketball and football, but they're actually very good, and we'll be keeping up with a lot of high school and college basketball in the coming weeks. And of course, we're coming down. I'm sure we'll be talking football all the way to the championship game, which is next Monday at 7 o'clock from the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Hope you enjoyed our show today, and you'll tune into us later on today at 1:30. And we appreciate our sponsors so very much, and appreciate you even more. See you tomorrow.